Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and we're with the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day in Coeur d'Alene. We are sitting in the chamber looking out over the lake.
It's like crystal clear.
It is.
It's gorgeous.
It's still chilly,
melting.
but it's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be worse. We could be flooding or in another snowstorm. So let's be happy.
Which reminds me, Kevin and I were in San Diego a couple weekends ago.
Yes.
And we wanted to go to the Friendship Park right on the Mexican-United States border, which is right down the beach from where we were staying. We were staying on Imperial Beach.
Right.
We actually walked down there, but it actually was farther than it looked, so we turned around. But we ended up driving down to Friendship Park, and it was flooded. The road was flooded, and we didn't get there. But I hear it's really cool that they have like a mural and
excellent. Well, I was in San Diego also.
Yes, how was it?
I think it was fabulous. Actually, when we air this podcast, I will have been to San Diego,
and then we'll get to hear all about it.
And then we'll all know about it eventually.
Right.
But I haven't been there in like 2 husbands ago. So seriously, I'm so excited to go with my husband, Stu, who has been absolutely lovely.
Yay.
I just have to say that. That's his word. He loves to use the word lovely. And he has been so sweet and lovable and kind and just generous. And it's our 25th wedding anniversary. And so I get this little bonus trip because, of course, you know, I'm going to Italy.
Oh my God, I can't wait till you go because I am so tired of hearing. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But anyway, this is a little bonus side trip to San Diego. It's a work trip for him, but it's not work for me.
Right.
So I'm just going to enjoy it and be with my husband, and maybe we'll walk down to the beach.
Yeah.
And I said, all I need to do, I said, you don't have to wine and dine me. I just need to put my feet in the ocean. I'm so easy.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'm easy. Half a glass of wine, I'm happy.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of husbands, it's our 25th anniversary this year also.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
We're going to go to Portugal.
I know.
I also have a wonderful husband.
I know. We're just feeling very lucky.
Yeah. He doesn't do a great job of clearing out the garage, but other than that, he's a great guy.
Again, that's really our only complaint.
Right.
And if our husbands ever did listen to these podcasts, they would know we love them.
We do love them.
We just want them to clean out the garage.
Right. It's coming.
It's coming. Right. It'll happen. So I'm very excited about our guest today.
I am too. I love the fact that we feature all kinds of creativity in this community. You know, we've featured winemakers and coffee makers, and I don't think that we should eliminate the fashion designers because fashion is a big deal. You know, what I wear in the morning, well, sometimes it stresses me out a little bit because I can't fit into the things that I want to wear, but fashion is important, and
it is a part of our culture, and Coeur d'Alene has a nice little fashion district.
Yes, we do. Yes, and so our guest today is Chloe Hubbard. Thank you, Chloe, for being here.
I am so happy to be here.
Yes, welcome.
Chloe is particularly dear to my heart because she's my daughter-in-law.
Yes.
And the mother of my grandson.
Yes.
I also have a really great husband.
Yes. We're appreciating
we're all about our husbands.
It's good.
Yeah.
But also we want to mention that Chloe owns Grace and Joy with her family. I'm not sure how many people are involved in the...
Well, there's 3 of us, but everyone in my family, from my dad to my brother to definitely my husband, we all play
a big part.
Roles.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So tell us how you got it inspired to be a fashion designer?
Well, I've always loved fashion. Even when I was a little girl at like 3 years old, I've always had a love for fashion. And then that love of fashion definitely translated into a love of the arts. Like, I've loved art all growing up. When I was in high school, I really jumped into the art community where I grew up. I grew up in New Orleans, and I went to a high school that had a really great art department. I took all of the art classes. I did summer camps revolving around art every summer. I went to Rhode Island School of Design to do their summer program when I was in high school. And then I went on to study fashion and art in college at Parsons School of Design in New York City. And you may have heard of Parsons. That's where they filmed Project Runway. So that was when I was younger, that was a really big deal.
Right? It is a big deal.
But yeah, and then my mom and my sister started our business, Grace and Joy Clothing Company, 9 years ago.
Wow, 9 years.
I know, it
really flies, doesn't
9 years. It does.
And tell them where you're located.
Well, we have 2 stores. We have a store in Sandpoint, Idaho, and here in Coeur d'Alene. But we definitely have a very unique story. My sister was in the process of relocating to Thailand, and she was traveling throughout Southeast Asia, and with my mom as well. They did a volunteer trip working with the blind in Vietnam, and they traveled all around. And my mom is a true serial entrepreneur. She has been self-employed since she was 19. She owned a restaurant growing up, so she's very much a hard worker and a true serial entrepreneur. So my sister and her had this idea of wanting to start some type of import business because they were really inspired by the markets in Vietnam and also in Thailand. And if you've ever been to Thailand or Vietnam, it's really common to have tailoring shops all over. So my mom and sister were traveling throughout Vietnam, and they found this one tailoring shop that they liked. The name is Yahweh Tailors. It's located in Hue, Vietnam, and they just got a few pieces of clothes made. I think just maybe 3 tops. And 3 of each. So very, very small. And my mom came back to Idaho. She had a home party that she called Tie One On.
Oh, cute.
That's great.
And my dad made Mai Tais.
Perfect.
Oh, cute.
And she sold every single thing at her home party. And she made just enough money to fly back to Vietnam to see my sister. Yeah, to do it again. And then it just kind of
snowballed into this.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
So my mom's whole reason for starting this business was basically just to be able to see my sister who moved to Thailand. And then she was like, well, I need a space. And she found a 400 square foot space in Sandpoint, and she didn't sign a lease, but she found this space, and my dad was like, no, please, Jerry, don't sign a lease. Don't do it.
Right.
And she took the dining room table because she needed to put the jewelry on. And my brother was like, oh, we're never going to get our dining room table back.
This is it. Yeah.
And we were in that 400 square foot space for 6 months. And then my mom said, we need a bigger space.
Yeah.
So she signed her first lease at 212 First Avenue in Sandpoint. And when I moved to Idaho in 2015, because of my background in fashion, I worked in the store, and then we opened up our second store here in Coeur d'Alene.
Right.
And then you came down to manage the second store.
Yes.
In the resort shop.
In the resort
Yes.
shops, right.
Right. And now you're in even a bigger space in the resort shops, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and since then, we have expanded both of our stores. So our store in Sandpoint is located just at the end of First Avenue as it turns. It's one of the biggest stores in Sandpoint. It's about 3,000 square feet. And our store here in the plaza is the biggest store in the plaza.
Wow.
And you have an online presence too.
Yeah, so we have our website, shopgraceandjoy.com, and that's what we're really trying to push forward to get us to that next level.
Right. Yes, of course. So tell us a little bit about the experience that you have when you go to Vietnam. You go there and so you just recently got back from
Yes,
Vietnam.
I was in Thailand and Vietnam for a month.
And you're there and you're actually looking at fabrics, you're shopping fabrics, and you have designs in mind, and what happens then?
Well, if you can imagine it, in my eyes, when you're thinking about like fabric shopping, clothing design, it seems very glamorous. But
not so much.
It is not. We're getting down and dirty. The places that we will buy fabric in Bangkok, it's very local. And there's thousands and thousands of just little fabric shops that have rolls and rolls of fabric. And each shop will specialize in different types of fabric, from whether it's linen, rayon, another like polyester. They'll normally have their like specialty, but we'll just go from like shop to shop in these like giant malls.
Right.
And
wow.
So they're like giant malls that have individual fabric shops, and then we just pick out how many rolls that we need, and we're really bad at doing the math because it's really hard to calculate how much fabric you need per dress, and then you have to change. They don't use inches.
Right.
They use the metric.
They use the metric system.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to. Then when we buy the trims, because we also go. You have to coordinate, okay, how much trim do I need for this dress? So the math can be the hard part.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. Wow.
But it's a really amazing experience. I mean, just to see like the whole process from like idea to sketch to fabric to sewing, like the whole process is pretty amazing.
So do they do the sewing then, and then it gets shipped to you?
Yeah, so we actually work with 3 different tailoring groups, families that make our clothes. One group, one mother-daughter in Bangkok, another in Vietnam, and then another in Bali. And they all kind of do very different things. But since my sister has lived in Thailand she's lived there almost basically 10 years now, my mom has acquired a lot of really special relationships. My mom is like a relationship person. She's really good at connecting with people. She's very positive. She's a really great communicator. And so it's been really hard to develop these relationships over so many years.
Hey y'all, it's Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. We are North Idaho's specialty coffee roaster. We are homegrown and we are local. We love coffee and we love our community, especially Allie and Callie in ArtCast. We have a retail space in our roastery in Hayden, and we can also be found on the shelves at Super One and Yolks. And if you like to buy coffee online, we do offer subscriptions. You can find us at tubbscoffeeroasters.com. Support arts and culture and your local roaster. That's all.
So how do you choose your design? Who does most of the designing? Do you all do the designing?
It's normally just my mom and I. Definitely my mom. And I throw in
a little tidbits here and there.
But all of the ladies who work for us, we really have an open forum for their opinions too. Like we have another wonderful lady who works for us. Her name is Bev. She used to work for Burberry. And so she gives us a lot of great ideas. Another woman who works for us, Lynn, she really knows what sells.
Right.
And so we normally all do it together. And we'll take also, like last summer, we have this really popular top called the Camille top. And we took the Camille top and just made it into a dress. So we'll take designs like over the years and just change them and make them constantly better, or use like a different color combination. But some of the styles the really popular styles that we make, we have been making for years and years because it's so popular.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about your experience in Vietnam and Thailand, because that's,
the travel
experience.
And traveling with a young child.
Well, I will say, if you are thinking of if you are getting the opportunity to ever travel and you are scared to do it because you have a toddler, I would say don't be scared, because you can do so much more than you are capable of. I was really, really nervous about taking this trip, but I knew this may be like the last possible time I could take him as he gets older, as he gets more involved in school.
Yeah.
You know, as I probably have another baby, like I may not get this opportunity again.
Right.
So I really just decided to go all in, and it was really a breeze. Everyone was really helpful, and I was really fortunate that because my mom and my sister have had such good relationships with people, I did have a lot of help. So that was like, for example, we have a woman that we work with in Thailand who always, she's a taxi cab driver. She always picks us up from the airport. She took us to the fabric markets, and she actually strolled Hendrix in the stroller the whole time. I mean, she's got 3 kids. She knew.
Yeah, right.
She's like, I'll do this.
Yeah, so that really helped. And then at the same time, I could make my videos and help with the whole process.
Right. And speaking of your videos, why don't you tell us a little bit about your vlog? Isn't that what you call it, a vlog?
Yes, I would be considered a vlogger.
A vlogger.
So one of the things that I do with the store, but it's unrelated as well, is I have a YouTube channel called Chloe Simone Says. So if you are listening to this, you can also go on YouTube and follow me, Chloe Simone Says. And I've had my YouTube channel for about a year now, so it is still growing, but I use my YouTube channel as a way to promote the store and talk about my life, but also to focus on the store.
Right.
And it's been really great so far. It's a very positive experience. Like we said earlier, we mentioned our website. I use my channel to promote our website.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. And just recently you got to go, in addition to traveling to Thailand and Vietnam, you also got to go to Italy.
I did. So when you mentioned Italy.
Yes. And I watched your Italy, is it still a vlog?
Yep.
But I watched it on YouTube. And the whole trip, the stairs and the hotel and being lost, basically. I felt your pain a little bit, but I love your little nephew.
Oh, he was
my
great.
God. He was like the little joy. I was like, he's just like, it's okay. He just was
he's very positive.
Very positive. I'm like, it's beautiful. If you got to be lost, why not be lost in Italy?
Exactly.
When you said you were going to Italy, I think people that go to Italy, they're saying, well, in Italy.
When I was in Italy,
I
can't wait till I can say it.
So one of the things that we can do with our business, and that our business allows us to do, is travel. And when we were there, we did a lot of buying for our store. Because again, my mom is really good with developing relationships. We just went into a few different stores. We asked them where they got their clothes, and then because you can tell if a store makes their own clothes. And a lot of these stores are like small scale sewing stores.
Right.
And then they make their own clothes at another building far up in the hilltop.
Right. You have to climb all those stairs to get there.
So when we went to Italy, we combined business with pleasure.
Yeah.
A lot.
Perfect.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I bet it was really interesting to talk to them about how they do their business and where they get their fabrics from and who sews their clothes. And
definitely. And well, when we were buying in Italy, it was more it was just a very magical experience because the scenery was so drop dead gorgeous.
It's amazing.
For some context, I will just say we were on the Amalfi Coast in Positano, and it's a very like a cliffside little village. It's very colorful, and we're just driving up this car. Our mouths are just drop dead, drooling about how gorgeous the scenery is, and we just go into this little villa. And it was funny, the first thing I noticed when I walked up the stairs, they had all of these jugs, and they were just jugs of wine.
So what if you're lost?
right.
Yep.
And the owner of the tailoring shop, he's feeding us, I wish, this sounds like a story, but this is exactly how it happened. He's feeding us grapes from the vine as we're looking out onto the Amalfi Coast.
Wow.
I know. I think
that sounds like a dream.
I think we need to do Allie and Callie from Italy.
We definitely do. I know when Chloe got back, she said we could all move there.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'm in.
I'm in. I know. I won't want to come back. I know. I already know I don't want to come back.
Right.
But it's okay. It's okay.
So if you want to go watch that video on my YouTube channel, Chloe Simone Says, you could go down to Europe, and it's called How We Do Business in Italy.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. So did you bring back things from Italy?
We did.
Are they in the store now?
They are. I carried all 100 pounds back
Down the stairs.
Yeah, down the stairs. Security
after stairs, cars, trains, more stairs,
And then more
Automobile.
stairs.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
And your mom once made a trip to France and brought back several things from France that you featured in the store too.
She did. My mom loves to travel, and my dad also travels for work a lot as well. So my mom goes with him, and we still buy from the same, like my mom will establish the relationship, and then she'll maintain that to like reorder year after year. So we can really find some very unique items in our
fun.
store.
I love that.
Yeah, go check it out.
I know.
There's some fun things in there.
I have a lot of items from Grace and Joy in my closet.
I know. I have a top, and I think I have mostly jewelry, but
Oh yeah, and they do have a jewelry line.
Yeah, so we work with a jeweler in Bangkok as well who like strings all of our jewelry, and then we'll design it and pick out all of the beads.
lots of cool things.
Yeah, we'll use a lot of like coral, turquoise, I think hematite. Right now we have a lot of hematite stretchy bracelets that have like some turquoise and rose gold in them.
Ooh, I love rose gold.
Yeah, and it's good health. Rose gold is healthy or something. Or I'm thinking rose quartz. Oh, never mind me.
Rose gold, rose quartz. What's the
Close
difference?
I made that up. Listen to Callie. Get some health
Take
advice
it from
me.
Callie.
I know nothing. Anyway.
Well, I also want to hear about Thailand. Because I have always wanted to go. Tell us a little bit about your experience there.
Thailand is a really wonderful country. I have been, this was my 4th trip there, my first with Hendrix, but my 4th time. So I very much knew kind of like what to expect, but it's really different.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's pretty much the exact opposite up here.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's really hot. There's lots of people.
Yep.
It's really crowded.
Open markets.
Markets, people selling things everywhere. But well, the first week we were there, we spent a week in Bangkok, and Bangkok is really an incredible city. I mean, it's like, if you've ever been to New York City, it's like that, but on steroids.
Right.
Really?
In Bangkok, they have billboards that would stretch all the way to the end of the lake. In reference, they're like a football field long.
Wow.
Like, it's just spectacular.
Wow.
And it's really like city.
Right.
Yeah. So coming from North Idaho, it's very different.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
So you fly in, and you were staying at a hotel in Bangkok, and what do you do on a daily basis? Do you take cabs? Do you rent a car?
Well, the first thing that we'll do is we'll drink lots of coffee.
Get adjusted to the time.
Because we're really tired. And they have really wonderful coffee shops there. But we'll stay in an area that's mainly just like a wholesale, the wholesale area, the shopping area as well. It's called the Pratunam area. There's a famous mall there called Central World, which is a really popular, wonderful mall. In America, it sounds kind of cheesy saying this mall is
mall
like
area.
amazing, but like it's a really beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a river.
Yeah.
That runs through this mall.
Oh, wow.
It's like the Mall of America. No, I'm just kidding. No.
There's like
Unlike
Big.
Mall of
Unlike.
America.
Yes. But
And so that's just the shopping area that we'll stay in, and we'll just go to all these different markets and shops. I shouldn't really say markets because we don't really buy at the markets anymore. We go to like specialized, like individual small designers that each have like their separate style.
almost like boutiques.
Right.
Yeah, but very small.
Very small.
Yeah.
And it's wholesale.
Right.
So you have to barter a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, the bartering.
This kind of reminds me of my sister Sam, also ran a business out of Vietnam years and years ago. She called it Chom Chom, and she had bags, mostly bags, purses, and she would travel around to like little villages, and it's like every village, which I imagine the little markets that you go to are similar to, every village had their own style, and so she would get these bags that represented different styles, and it was really interesting what they had to offer, and that they do all the handwork, and
because there's very creative people in Thailand and Vietnam.
So what's your favorite place you visited so far?
Besides Italy.
Let's say in the South Pacific.
Yeah, right.
I think both countries, they're very, considering they're right next to each other, they're very different. Like, for example, in Vietnam, they use our type of lettering. Like, they use like A through Z, whereas in Thailand has a totally separate alphabet. But so they're very different from each other. Vietnam, I think, is a little bit more special because it's like more unknown. Like, less people travel to Vietnam. You have to have a special visa to get there. It's a little bit easier to go to Thailand.
Sure, that makes sense.
It's more developed.
Oh, that makes sense.
Whereas Vietnam is just a little bit. There's more mystery.
Right.
Yeah.
How's the language? Is it easy?
No, it's not easy.
Not easy.
I can say like 2 words.
And do they speak English at all?
You know what's interesting? Since the pandemic, less people speak English.
Really?
Which is really sad.
I
think the lack of like communication and the lack of one-on-one time, and because people weren't traveling. I mean, Vietnam just reopened.
Yeah.
I noticed, it was very obvious to notice less people spoke English. And we even noticed that with like a good friend of ours whose English was really good at one point, and it's gotten...
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's right.
But in Thailand, almost everyone speaks English.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, and my sister also speaks Thai, so that really helps.
Oh my God! Yeah, you have your
but
own
she doesn't
interpreter.
Speak Vietnamese.
Yeah, and it's really funny when she starts speaking Thai. People don't expect it at all.
Oh, I bet.
And they're like, they almost can't respond because they're so shocked.
What? Yeah,
I love that.
That's great.
I've been practicing Spanish. I can't wait to do that to somebody. What? You understand?
I know nothing in Italian. I'll learn a few.
I know. Grazie.
Grazie.
You just need to know ciao.
Ciao. Yeah.
Ciao. Ciao, bella.
Ciao, bella. I'll find some. I'll get a few.
Right.
I got some time.
Hey ladies, have you heard about NIA yet? Hi, I'm Marilee Wallace, and I'm a proud board member of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and owner of NIA. That's short for the North Idaho Alliance. We specialize in leadership development, specifically focused in connecting women to programs, workshops, and networking to educate, empower, and enrich their lives. Our goal is to make positive impacts in the community while helping other women in North Idaho succeed. Next up is our annual Onward and Upwards Women's Conference set for May 24th, and our new event, Women with Cool Jobs, scheduled for early summer. And then keep a lookout to register for our super popular Women of Impact Leadership Roundtable series. That begins every September. So I hope you'll look us up. We're at thenorthidahoalliance.com. Find us on Facebook or just give us a call, 208-660-1557. Go out and make it an impactful day.
So where's Grace and Joy going, and your whole fashion empire, in quotes?
Well, we're really hoping to expand our online presence. In our Sandpoint store, we have a whole studio set up, so we actually take all of our own pictures.
Oh, that's great.
You know, people think that it's really easy to start an online store. It's actually really hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's a lot of work that goes involved, from the taking of the pictures to the inventory to getting everything just right? To even dealing with the returns, the shipping, a lot goes into it.
Right.
So in our Sandpoint store, we have a whole setup where we take all of our pictures in-house. We do all of our inventory processing, our labeling, our shipping, all from there. And we're really hoping to just promote that as much as possible and expand that, but also still, stay true to our community here and stay involved in the community in Sandpoint and also in Coeur d'Alene, and expanding on our social media, growing the YouTube channel. Down the road, we're going to start our own Grace and Joy YouTube channel that's separate from mine, just so it can all be
about the clothes and the designs.
Yeah. And we do, one thing that makes us, I think, also different is that on my channel, Chloe Simone Says, we do a lot of these live videos, and it's really fun. And if you ever want to watch the live videos, the best way to do that is to not only subscribe to my channel, but to also turn your notifications on, because we don't do them at a set time. Down the road, we will find a set time to do them, but right now it's just too hard with our schedule, my mom's schedule.
Right.
I have a toddler, but we do the live videos and we just talk about unfiltered.
They do. I've caught them every once in a while.
I think I caught one where you were on a couch, and I can't remember where you were, but
because we did a lot of live videos when we were over there. I think sometimes we even went live 3 times a day.
Oh, really?
It was really, really fun.
Oh, I didn't catch those. But once I was on there live and Chloe saw me. Oh, hi, Allie. That was funny.
Well, it's good that you can keep all that going, and you can still connect with your sister across the pond, let's say.
Yeah, the big pond.
Yeah.
The bigger pond.
Well, really all just, my family's very close, and it really all, my family is very close, and so we really do just enjoy working together, and it's really fun spending the time together. And we've also, my family has been through, my sister, my mom, we've all been through a lot, so we can really relate to each other, I guess.
That's awesome. Right.
It's good. And that you can work together. That's, because not every family could do that.
That's
truly.
true.
I mean, and create a successful business.
Well, we definitely have our moments.
Yeah, well, as anyone would. But,
right.
The fact that you each have something to offer, I mean, obviously your mom has years of experience in creating these relationships. You've got your sister, Lily, right, who has the connections in where she lives, and then that she also speaks the language is a bonus. And then I feel like you also have this great, you have that great technology behind you with your vlogging expertise and all that. That's, you each have something to offer, which,
Right.
Well, it didn't happen overnight. It really took years and years of us finding out what we do best to get to this point.
Right.
Sure.
And it just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good for you. Because, I've seen a lot of stores in the shops that they start, and then they're gone.
Right.
And
Also in Idaho, and
in Idaho in general.
The waves of how it is.
It's not easy, especially to have a retail store, and especially in a tourist town, it is not easy. And things easy, it's not easy.
Right, because it's up and down. We never know how things are going to go.
So it's definitely, you guys are on the right path, and you're doing a good job. And you need to go look at those clothes.
I know, they're
Check
awesome.
out that jewelry, because it's really cool stuff. And your store has items that I don't think other stores have.
No, they don't. It's very unique.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we've really worked hard to get it to this point. So if you aren't local to the area, you can go on our website, shopgraceandjoy.com, and you can use the code SHOPJOY20 for 20% off.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
A little bonus.
That's a
right
bonus
there.
right there.
See? Well, before we sign off, I wanted to bring up the fact that you guys all used to live in New Orleans, and your mom and your sister used to have a restaurant.
Yeah, so again, my family is very entrepreneurial. My mom owned a restaurant growing up and a catering company. She's always worked like really, really hard. And then in New Orleans, my sister owned a restaurant, and I worked at her restaurant. I worked there when I was about 18. So I actually did the math, and there's only been 1 year since I was 18 where I haven't worked for some part of my family, which I think sometimes that kind of can make me a hanger-oner.
Not necessarily.
But that's just dedicated.
I'm very loyal.
And loyal. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Well, the restaurant that your sister owned in New Orleans, what was the name of it?
It was called Coquette.
Right.
It's actually still there today. It's one of the best restaurants in New Orleans and in Louisiana.
Right. And you guys saw some celebrities come through that restaurant, didn't
Yes.
you? That's always exciting.
Yeah, I waited on Nicolas Cage, who was really, really nice. People say bad things about him, but he was really, really very kind.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's nice.
He drank
to
a
hear.
lot of iced tea.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
So if you run into him, offer him some iced tea.
I heard you like iced tea. That's fun.
I know, and I can vouch for. I've had Lily's cooking, and Lily's an excellent cook. We had Thanksgiving with the family, and she made this acorn squash
Casserole?
No, it's like a stir fry almost, but it had a little bit of sugar in it. What was it? A glacé sort of thingy?
I don't know. I didn't like the acorn squash at all.
I loved it.
And the fact that you like the acorn squash over the green bean casserole.
Oh, see, I like both of them. You're making me hungry. Oh, that sounds great.
I'm sorry, I don't like green beans.
Because it's just like really simple. I think she took acorn squash and like drizzled some maple syrup and cranberries and pecans and roasted it.
Oh, it sounds
I don't
good.
know. Whatever she did, I thought it was amazing.
That sounds really good. Lily, send us your recipe.
Well, everybody's got their own taste.
That's
buds.
right.
That's for
So I'll
sure.
make you the roasted acorn squash.
Right.
There you go. I like the green bean casserole too.
Well, you would love Chloe's because, okay, I'm not a green bean fan, but it was a good green bean casserole for green beans. Let me just say that. I don't like mushy peas either. So
yeah, I'm not a mushy piece. No.
Yeah, I
not
know.
so much.
Anyway,
not so much.
Well, Chloe, thanks so much for taking your time out to come and talk.
Absolutely. So glad to.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear what it's like over there and how hard it is. It's not easy being a designer.
Right.
Yeah. So
well,
go in
and
there.
I think retail
It's not easy.
It's ever changing.
That's true.
Especially right now.
Right. And we're kind of redefining what it is after the pandemic, too. I think a lot of stores have gotten savvy about being online, having an online presence, because you never know when the next whack thing is going to hit us. So we have to be prepared.
You know what my first job was?
What?
Retail. I worked in size 5, 7, 9.
Woohoo.
3 years, all through
What?
high school, 15 to 18. It was, and I became the assistant manager.
Oh.
But I wasn't a buyer. And they're like, you should be a buyer. I was like, nah, I want to be an actress. I like clothes. But, my parents were like, maybe you should be a buyer. I'm like, no.
I worked in a clothing shop for 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah,
What
I went to the
happened?
manager and I said, I don't think this job is for me. And she says, I don't think it is either.
So be kind to your retail.
Right.
It's not an easy job. Gosh. But we're excited that you have spent time with us. Excited to hear about your travels. Thailand's pretty
I
cool.
know.
The South Pacific.
I know. I really want to go.
Yeah.
I will go.
The closest I've been is, I was in Okinawa, and I went to Korea, and when I did the South Pacific tour with the Department of Defense.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, that's so interesting.
I spent time over there. So when I think of Thailand, I think of Korea, and I think of Seoul, which reminds me of Bangkok-ish.
Yeah.
But this was so long ago, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's very
it was
different.
like 40 years ago, or I don't even know how long ago. Let's just say it was a long time ago.
Korea is known for its fashion. They're supposed to have wonderful fashion. And actually, a lot of the things that we buy are made in Korea. Like what I'm wearing is made in Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just remember there was one particular street. It was called Itaewon.
Oh,
and Itaewon is where you went to buy the knockoffs.
Yeah. Oh.
And I don't know if they were all knockoffs, but that's where you went to buy your Nike tennis shoes.
Right.
That weren't not quite Nike.
Right.
And I was like, oh God. It was one of the funniest days over there because they didn't speak a lot of English, but what they would do is like, you my first customer of day.
Oh, it's good luck.
Yeah, I give you best price. I like Monty Hall. I give you best price. I make you a deal. I mean, I know I'm not making fun of anyone, I promise, but that's the way it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, no thanks. And I wouldn't barter. I was terrible at it. So I'm not a good barter person.
I'm not a good barter.
Yeah,
I'm not good.
either.
I'm like, talk to my husband.
Yeah.
I got so cheated.
Yeah.
I was there. I'm not. I'm like, just take it.
Just say it's fine. That seems so cheap. Here, let me give you more. You know
who's a good barterer?
Who?
My mother.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Yeah.
That doesn't. Yeah.
We were in Tijuana once, and oh my God, she had it down.
I think she bartered at Goodwill. I knew she was here.
I think she did.
Oh my gosh! I mean, there are people who can and people who can't.
Right.
I am a can't.
Right.
I'm not good at
I
it.
know. Just tell me the price.
Yeah,
I decide if I can pay
Makes
it.
me very nervous.
I can't. I just
like my hands.
I know. I know it's kind of the way some things are done, but it's hard.
Right.
So.
Well, the closest I ever got to Southeast Asia was when I flew by it on my way to Australia.
You saw it down below.
Yeah, right.
Hello, down there. Yeah.
Actually, it was way off in the distance.
It is a beautiful part of the country.
I hear it's gorgeous. And my sister goes over there all the time because her husband does a lot of work over there. And
yeah, it's really beautiful country. Thailand and Vietnam are just spectacular.
I think it's so surprising. I mean, I think the first time I ever left the States since I was a kid, and I don't remember that because I was 3 when we left Africa and Europe and all that stuff. And the first time I left, I went to Korea, and I was like, it's so beautiful.
Wow.
And my vision of Korea was Vietnam because what I watched on the
TV,
news.
yeah.
And going, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Wow.
Just gorgeous. And the water and the mountains and the rice fields. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I think you're so lucky to have had the opportunities to go over there as often as you had.
I think you need to go to France next.
France. Paris. Yeah, exactly.
I have been to Paris, and it was really nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Didn't you go to Paris first?
We were there for 24 hours.
Oh, that's
but I liked Italy better.
Yeah.
People in Italy were nicer.
Oh, okay. There you go. I love Paris, too. I love it. Well, but I'm going to Italy.
Where are you going?
I'm going... there 2 weeks, so I'm basically starting in Venice and going down to the Amalfi Coast. So, all the way. Can't wait.
Venice is amazing.
I know.
Oh, I could have stayed in Venice the whole
that's
time.
where I want to go next. Venice and Florence. Where are you going in the Amalfi Coast?
We're going to be in Naples. We're going to go down to... oh, God. Now I'm going to remember names. Just going down there. Just going to be down there for like 5 days.
Capri? You're going to Capri?
I don't even know. I don't remember. I put all my lists of things, and we're just taking
some
the
research
train.
because if you take a ferry, sometimes if you're like, oh, let me take this ferry because it's going to be so beautiful. Sometimes in the ferries, the windows are blurred out, so you can't see outside.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Why?
Because they want you to take the speedboat tours.
That's awful.
No.
So you're like, oh, let me take this ferry. It'll be like 2
great.
hours extra, but I'll be able to see like the beautiful coastline. No, you won't because it's all blurred out.
They blurred it out. Oh,
Those stinkers. Oh man. We should have a whole podcast on travel.
We should.
Yeah.
Just talk to people who travel.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that at the end of the season after you've gone to Italy.
And
I've
you've
gone to Portugal, and I'm sure Chloe will go somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to Washington,
we're going to Washington,
Oh, well,
D.C.
that's cool.
Yeah.
There's so much art and culture there.
There certainly is.
Oh my gosh. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
this has been great. Thank you so much
thanks,
for
Chloe,
coming
for
in.
being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be
you here.
Yep. So I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is a program of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and is sponsored by NIA, North Idaho Alliance, a woman-based leadership organization designed to inspire, uplift, and impact your community and lives. And Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee.